morning, Quadcopter 101 here, and before we get started, let's get the shout out of the way. Today's shout out goes to Tim DeJong. Tim was first to say first in one of my recent videos and thus wins the shout out. So congratulations. Good morning, Quadcopter 101 here, and I have a neat new quadcopter for you today. This is the YH18WS, or actually YH18S. Okay, looking at it, you can see right away that, yeah, this is going to be another FPV Wi-Fi flyer. And it's actually a 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi flyers that will work with most phones. But why am I interested in reviewing another one of these? This does not have GPS, it does not have optical flow, but what makes it special? Well, it has a 1080p HD camera that records video directly to a microSD card slot. Now that is unusual for a toy grade. You don't normally see 1080p cameras on toy grades, although sometimes you do. But we'll see how well that quality of that is. But the other thing that's special about this that I like, that I find interesting, is this battery. Very large battery, 3.7 volt, 1800 milliampere hour battery. That's supposed to give it, 16 minutes of flight time. Let me see here. Yeah, 13 to 16 minutes of flight time. Now, whether that actually is going to happen is another matter entirely. We'll find out here shortly. But there's one other thing that I like about it, is that it is brightly lit. It is a very brightly lit quadcopter. This would be excellent for night flying if you're into night flying, so keep that in mind too. Let's go over its controller now. Now, its controller has the usual bottom slide connector for your phone. The problem I have with these is the on-off switch on my phone is right here, and when you plug this in, normally it turns my phone on or off. Okay, so I normally have to put a piece of tissue or some type of spongy material in there temporarily. See, I'm going to do that later. But to prevent my phone from being turned on and off. That's one thing I don't like about these type of phone holders. It always smashes against my on-off switch. Let's go over the switch of this controller. First, let's go over these antennas. These antennas are fake, of course. They are not real antennas. This is a toy grade quadcopter, so they're just for design, and actually we can close them up like so to get them out of the way. These buttons here, this button here is for your rates, changing the rates for beginner, intermediate, and expert rate. It has 3 rates. This button here is for, there is a camera only version without Wi-Fi. This would be used for starting and stopping the video and the photos for the camera only version. This button here is for flips, and this button here, I don't like it being here, is for emergency stop. If you get stuck in a tree, a quick press of this button will shut off the motors. Now the problem is, if you're flying and you press the wrong button here and hit that emergency stop, your drone is going to fall from the sky, so be very careful when doing flips to hit the correct button, which is the one in the front for flips. You have trim for roll trim left, roll trim right, pitch trim forward, pitch trim back. This is one key return button. This does have one key return, and all that does is fly the opposite direction the drone was pointed when it took off. And it also has headless mode, which you activate by pressing that button here. If you press into this button here after starting the motors, the drone will take off. And if you press into this stick here, the drone will land. So let's go for a flight of the YH18S and see how it performs. Let me make sure I got the right name here. YH18S. Hold on, folks. Okay, this is the YH18S, or actually the VS FPV app. VS FPV app, available on Google Play and iTunes. We'll hit connect here and make sure we got FPV video, and we do. Now this only provides FPV video, folks. This drone does not have follow me or circle me or any other features because it does not have GPS. So we're going to hit record, start recording of the video. And to start the motors, you bring both sticks down and out. And that starts the motors, and then we press the takeoff. Now again, this does not have optical flow or position hold, so it is going to drift with the wind, but there's no wind today. It is just a Wi-Fi FPV flyer with altitude hold. So no position hold, but let's see how well that camera is operating. And let's rotate it a bit. Now this uses 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi. Everybody should be able to use this, in effect, because of that. And also, since this is recording to microSD card, we should be able to avoid the Wi-Fi lag that we normally see with Wi-Fi FPV flyers. So I'm going to plop it right there. Let's go upwind a bit, so right about there, and then rotate. Showing the area as it rotates. The wind's blowing it back. I'm going to have to eventually take control again here as it comes overhead. So here is its camera. It actually looks relatively good camera on my screen here. I hope it's recording well. Let's push forward again, go upwind. There's very little wind today, but there is a small breeze pushing it back. So right about there. Let's go up higher. What did I just hit? Well, that was left trim. Let's go up a bit higher. Right about there. And rotate again. Showing you the area. Showing the area. Trying to stay underneath it. So it's actually working very well. Flying very well. Now let's come back down again. Reducing throttle. And doing circles as I come down. Now I do this so I don't enter into vortex ring state, and it generally brings you down a little bit faster, I feel, than if you just reduce the throttle. And bring it back over, plopping it there. Bringing it over, lowering it a bit. And down so that you can see me. And this has a real wide angle lens on it. I can see that right now because this drone's nearly up to me, but pull back a bit and sync up and say, how do you like my shirt today, folks? Okay, I know that shirt's showing up. Okay, I'm going to stop the video recording real quick because I want to try the photos. Photo. Go up a bit higher. Photo. Another photo. And I hear a helicopter, folks. I'm going to have to land for a second. Hold on. Let's try that land button. And I'll wait till the helicopter goes by. Emergency stop. Okay, that helicopter is passed. I'm going to start the recording again. Starting the motors one more time. And this time, let's take to the air and try that headless mode. Giving it manual throttle this time. And headless mode is on. And that is the headless mode direction, apparently. Okay, turning it toward me. And let's see if we can do manual flying in headless mode. Manual follow me in headless mode. Now, in headless mode, that is always going to be forward, this is always going to be back, this is always going to be right, and that's always going to be left, no matter which direction the drone's nose is pointed. Okay, I'm still pointing forward. And try it again this way, pushing forward, see. Now, I could also do this. Rotate the drone entirely, 360 degrees. This is back. That's still forward. Bringing it back again. And this is still left. And still right. So headless mode works. Headless mode is good for panning. You know, if you're doing panning, let's try pulling back on the stick, trying to keep the camera pointed toward me. You know, that's how you do it with headless mode, folks. Okay, coming out of headless mode. I'm going off in that direction again. Turning around and pressing one key return. Here comes one key return. Okay, now keep in mind this is all only going in the opposite direction the drone was pointed when you took off. And it also automatically puts the drone in headless mode. One key return again. And turning headless mode off. Let's see, headless mode's still on, headless mode's off now. Okay, the next thing, let's try flips. Let's bring it down a little lower. And flip it. Oh, I guess, oh, okay, you gotta hold the button down, folks. Unfortunately, I thought you, no, you gotta hold the button down. Let's try it again, bring it down, lower. Closer. Oh, it only does left-right flips. Okay, that explains it. So let's try it again. Okay. Only left-right flips if you're steady. So it really doesn't do rolling flips very well. Let's see how well it flies now. Actually flies very well. Nice flyer. Nice flyer indeed. Okay, let's go back up again one more time. The camera is still recording. Try that video out. Video camera one more time, demonstration. Going up high, right about there, that's good enough. And which way is the wind blowing now? Coming from that direction, so let's go upwind. And rotate. Climb higher and rotate. Flying nicely. Not a bad little drone. Not a bad little basic drone, especially with that big battery and 1080p camera that records the microSD card. Gee, I hope that's coming out. We'll find out here in post-production. Coming down, coming down. Now again, this operates at 2.4 gigahertz, so don't expect great range of that on this. And the reason being, you know, the 2.4 gigahertz interferes with the Wi-Fi, the 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi interferes with the controller, which also operates on 2.4 gigahertz. So, again, how do you like my shirt, folks? Not a bad drone at all. And it appears to be, really is a long flyer. And a nice flyer too. Now, you know, this still has a place for beginner flyers that can't afford a GPS drone. This should be a good learn to fly drone, actually. And if you want a camera, an FPV, it has it. Not bad at all. Okay, I'm going to go up this way a bit. I want to start and stop the camera one time to make sure I got that last recording. The camera started again. Pulling it back in my direction. Now, one thing I haven't tried. I don't want to try it, but well, let's try it. What happens if it loses signal from the transmitter? Coming down lower, and let's bring it closer so I can swat it down in case something does happen. But we're going to turn off the transmitter. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005, 1006, 2007, 2008. There you go. If it loses signal, it descends to the ground and lands after about 6 seconds, 7 seconds. So let's see if we can start the motors up again. I reconnect it and hit takeoff. Automatic takeoff. So not bad of a drone at all, actually. Okay, let me lower the camera. Let's try that. I haven't done that yet. Landing button. Land. There you go. And what I'm going to do now, emergency stop. Emergency stop because this thing doesn't shut off quickly. I'm going to lower the camera. Let's point it straight down if we can, or as much down as it will go, which appears to be about 80 degrees. Put it back on the ground. Start the motors again. Take off. Turn it around. Get myself in the picture. Actually turn on headless mode too. Headless mode, that'll help. Which is headless mode direction now. That's back. Forward. Okay, and then climbing. Am I in the picture? I don't see myself. Actually, the headless mode doesn't help. I'm going to go fly it normally. And it's in the sun too. Am I showing up at all, folks? I'm looking for myself with this, with my tie-dye on, and I'm not seeing it. Oh, there I am. Okay, it's working. High up there. So you can point the camera downward if you wish to look at the ground and see yourself on the ground. Okay, so let's press, from way up there, let's press that land button. I want to see what it does. Lights are flashing and it's descending. Oh, if you give it throttle, it'll stop. And let's land it. And remember, when you get on the ground, emergency stop. Stop that motors. Okay, this time let me stop and stop that video. I'm going to raise the lens back up again with a slightly low. Well, actually, let's bring it all the way up. Very far up. This time you're going to see props in the video because I got it all the way up. Let me clean that lens too. But the reason I want to point it slightly upward is I want to fly fast. So expect to see the props, but we're going to be flying fast now. Okay. Fast forward flight. Starting the motors, down and out, taking off, and for the remainder, I'm going to fly fast because I want to burn up that battery. See how long that battery can last in real aggressive flying. Coming down a bit lower. Okay, it was at the edge of its range right there. So as the battery gets weaker, its range gets shorter. Keep that in mind, folks. Range right now is about to that light pole, so that's about 40 meters. Zoom. Coming back in again. I keep turning it back toward me. And where's that flip button? No more flip power. So its battery's getting a little bit low there. And in fact, there we go. I think it's about to land. I'll give it some throttle to try to keep it in the air, but it wants to land, folks. It's coming down, so emergency stop. So that's its flight time with that 1800 milliampere hour battery. Not too shabby flight time. Although, or is its lights blinking? Let me see here. I can't tell. Oh yeah, they're blinking definitely. All of them blinking rapidly. So, not a bad little drone. I kind of liked it. So I hope you did too. That's a YH18S. Basic trainer altitude hold drone with 1080p camera and a large battery. So I hope you enjoyed this flight. Quadcopter 101, signing out. Hi, Quadcopter 101 here again. Hey, if you want to get your own shout out in one of my future videos, make sure you subscribe to my channel. It's real simple. Just go to my channel page and click on that subscribe. And also make sure to click that bell button right next to the subscribe button. That way you get notified when I release a brand new video immediately and give you a chance to get that first shout out. So give it a try, folks.